notice that it's Kelly Green. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I would like to introduce to you the new head basketball coach of Marshall University, Mr. Danny D'Antoni.
I see some of the players jumping around. You guys better be first up. Playing time's involved. I want to say how excited I am to be here, first of all. I think that's the most important thing. And he hit it on the head when he said this is a lifelong dream. It is. And I got my family here. It's D'Antonis have always bled green for a long, long time. And it goes back, the dad's there, back in the 30s. So it's been a long, long time coming, long time getting here, but here I stand. I want to thank two people. One, Dr. Kopp. I sat down with him today, and a lot of his philosophy is on basketball. I can tell right now, you boys are going to have to shoot free throws. I'm going to be an utter failure in his eyes if you don't make a free throw. Secondly, I want to thank Mike Hambrick. And there was a time when the D'Antonis split a little bit from Marshall for various reasons, and not to go into it. But Mike has fostered, for not just this year, but for the last 4 or 5 years. He came to New York, fostering, bringing back the D'Antonis to Marshall, which we've always wanted to do, and which he opened the door to let us do that. And I appreciate that, Mike. I also appreciate the strength, Dr. Kopp and Mike, in hiring one of your own and not going another route. Because I'm getting toward the end of it where, this is my last chance. You got to give me a shot at this. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate your strength in that. I guess I might want to address, since we have all my favorite people of the media here, address a few issues probably you're going to ask me. One, I am not 67. I am 66 years old. And I want to get that straight, because you aging me before I get there. I do feel in pretty good health, though, and I do have a lot of energy. Second thing is, no, I have not coached college basketball. But I'll promise you that I'm with the staff that is well wizened in college basketball. But even at that, my opinion, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, I think you try to keep them from putting the ball in that basket, and you try to put it in your basket, and if you do, that'll work on all 3 levels that I've been on. And so that's what we're going to try to do if we can do that. I think that the third issue is I cannot relate, because of my age, to young people. Now that one really mystifies me. First of all, I have a 16-year-old daughter, and she'll tell you I communicate real clear to her. The other thing is, when I went to the NBA, they said, well, you're not going to you can't relate to the older veterans here. So we're going to put you with the young players and let you develop. So I don't know which way to go. I can't talk to young people. I can't talk to old people. I don't know where I am. But I do think if you will go ask, and you don't have to take me for granted, I don't want you to take my word. Just call one of the players I work for. See if I speak their language. And I think 2 of the men, they'll all tell you that I helped them in their career as NBA players. And I took pride in what they did. Not what I did, but in what they did with the help that I could give them. And they did it. And I told these players that right now, don't look at me. You're going to have to make me a good coach. And you're going to have to go out and put forth an effort that makes all the people in Huntington proud of you. And then I will become a good coach. But I did promise them this. I'll promise you this. I'll give you everything that I know. And I've been very fortunate to be around some great coaches. Here in the state, in the NBA, in South Carolina, and I ran a tournament called the Beach Ball Classic, which for years brought in the best high school coaches from the country. I'm very good friends with Morgan Wooten, who was at DeMatha for many years. I got to sit on many of the coaching clinics that they had. I've been to thousands and thousands of them. So with all that knowledge, that's what I want to give to these young men. I will say this, and I told them that. What do I expect? Basketball to me is more than just basketball. It's about living. I expect good young men. I don't want to coach kids that are uncoachable. I want to coach good kids. I want to come out and compete for this city and this school and statewide and wherever herd fans come and make them proud of how hard they play and how they compete to win. When I was thinking about taking this job, I wanted to, which started, gosh, when I was just finished. But it started becoming a reality. And Mike, like he said, he was in New York, and then he came out to LA. He sat in on all of our things. I sat in on all the meetings with Mike. Of course, the way I look at it, if you get one damn turn, you get them all. So, you're stuck. Mike will be around a lot. I'm sure he's going to do a lot of things. But when you get one, you get them all. And we sat around and they said, Danny, one of you two, we need to come back. And I started thinking about, okay, what about my time here at Marshall? What was it really like? And I think I told the players, I think I got this right. When I left Chad, and of course, I know Chad's dad from him beating us to death from Oceana when he played at Oceana. And they had a great team. I think they were undefeated, went on to a state championship, and we played them, and they were tough. But I was telling, when we were here, if I remember correctly, this was a basketball school. I don't know what happened when I left. I don't know. But these guys are going to have to bring something back, because when I was here, it was a basketball school. I suffered through 28 straight defeats in football to sit there and watch. But we want to bring that same enthusiasm back. There was when I was a player, we would sit in and a lot of things occurred. One of my best friends was George Stone. And we were the first black-white roommates in the history of Marshall, probably pretty close in the country. We didn't do it because they told us to do it. We did it because we played Scrabble, and we both liked to. And I would go to class, and George would stay home and get a dictionary and try to beat me at Scrabble. And we did this for 2 years, and he never went to his room. He just stayed in mine the entire time. And he had me beat one time, finally. And there were some words on there I didn't know, but he promised me they were in the dictionary. He had 2 hours, so I assumed they were in the dictionary. So it came down, he had 4 tiles. And the word was acre. A-C-R-E. And I looked at him, and with this, he was going to beat me for the first time. I had to really start being devious as I could be. And I looked at him and said, acre? A-C-R-E? A-C-R-E, George. It's the first time you're ever going to beat me, son. Acre. Oh, switch the R and E. And I said, all right, you got it? Is that where you want it to be? That's it, I'm done. I said, good, take it off the board, I win. So we were always having a good time, and it was a great team. It was called the Iron Man 5. We played in the old field house. For some of you remember, I'm looking at some of you my age. So we were in the old field house. It was hot. It was packed to the rafters. Couldn't get tickets. It was very difficult to get tickets. We would sit underneath where we were coming out, and you could feel the heat from everybody that was in the stands. And Bob Red, who was a Vietnam veteran, came back. He was older. He's about 26 years of age. All of us were like 18, 19, 20. He would go and crack that door so we could feel the energy from the crowd. And we would sit there. Nobody'd say anything. We were really a quiet locker room. Nobody ever said anything in our locker room. And then he would get back up and he'd push his full out. And then we would gather at the door, and you could look out and you'd see the crowd doing this. Then as we came out, you could hear the chant, bring on the herd, bring on the herd. And we would all come running out. And to me, that was the greatest feeling in the world. I can't tell you how I feel, still feel about it. Something I would like to give these young men and let them feel the passion for this game. As we went through all of that, and we talked about the passion, there's a special group that's not with us anymore that I date back to. Sometimes it's hard for me to talk about it. But I know they'd be smiling if they heard, bring on the herd. There was a guy named Ray and Doc Hager, or Ray Hager and his wife, Shirley, who started the Big Dream Club, who was just another parent for me when I was here. His dream, excuse me, his dream was for me to coach the herd. And he always said, Danny, you're going to be the head coach of the herd.